Innovations that we can incorporate for the sustainable responsible tourism. In fact, before my presentation is getting ready, so let me sum up where we are at this time. I'm quoting number, this year we will be 8 billion. And we have passed through the COVID-19, which has halted or stopped the global economy. Besides this, we have extremely poor, nearly 800 million people. They are living below $2.15 a day. And above all, the climate change. The topic of my presentation is climate resilient tourism. In fact, my presentation will be just a supplement to the previous speakers who have already covered almost all aspects, but I will cover with the pictures. And I use the pictures from the different sources, open sources for the purpose of education. I hope the first picture you can see, that is a main concern for us when we are thinking about the tourism. The climate resilient tourism and some concerns and approaches toward the soft tourism. So here the soft tourism, that is a supplement of the ecotourism, sustainable tourism, means where we do not put much load on the environment. So next slide please. So climate change, that is we can say well-known topic. We can see, we can observe a series of events which are changing of climate, and today the conference that I think we have shifted from the one half to the other because of the climate, because of the untimely rains. So that is the one indication that we are already observing climate change. So next please. So the next refugees, we will be having the climate refugees. Of course, around 19 million refugees are there present, but in the next we will be the climate refugees. And global warming, that is, of course, there is also another reality, and there are certain nations which are the main contributor to the global warming. Next, please. Yeah. So here we can see the most polluted nations, and if we see this red color, that India that is coming in the category of most polluted countries. Next please. Yeah, here of course the 10 countries which have the maximum we can say pollution. Please, I have more slides, so yeah. So here we can see cutting down the forest. They are also adding CO2. Yeah, and forest fire. Amazon, the recent study so that it is we can say emitting more carbon dioxide than it is absorbing. So that is another concern. The methane menace is also there for us, the solid waste management, and the landfills are there, and the greenhouse menace or the gases, that is concern. Of course, agriculture, that is also contributor to the we can say pollution and the ultimate climate change. Yeah. And now, if we see, we can 70% is the water and 30% that is the land, and our every action, small action, that is also going toward the ultimate source, that is the oceans. So we have oceans, and here, of course, they are the, we can say, sink of the CO2, the producer of the oxygen, and they are the, we can say, source of around 50%, 3 billion, we can say, people on the globe. And the UN Secretary General said these are the oceans for the planet. But, and of course, we were not thinking about the oceans, how they could be polluted before the 70s, but now our aviation that is contributing to the pollution and that is affecting the life in the sea. And here the 10 biggest problems we are facing at At present, the plastic, the trash is there, pollution is there, all energy resources, and likewise the sea temperature is rising. So these are the problems before us. Next, please. Yeah. So if we talk about the plastic, there is a manganese, and here some 5 trillion pieces of the plastic they are currently littering in the ocean, and in 1 minute at least 1 million plastic bottles we are throwing in the ocean or water sources. Next, please. Now the trash is there, and the trash that has contributed in such a way that the triangular wind that made the we can say garbage ocean, garbage we can say islands in the ocean, and we have the 5 garbage oceans. You can see here showing the Pacific to Atlantic and one in Indian Ocean, and this Pacific island that is bigger than the we can say 2 times France, article Cuba or Mexico. So these 5 islands of the garbage, they are just floating in the ocean. That is the main concern here. The marine pollution. Then you can see here the what for responsibility and agricultural tourism. Yeah. Next, please. Okay. So what we are doing means plastic. We are doing, and of course, microplastic, nanoplastic, macroplastic. We are depositing in the animal source. They are broken down on the way to the ocean as the water bodies, and they become the microplastic, and they become the food, and ultimately they are a threat for the life in the water. Next, please. Yeah. Agricultural pollution. That is also there. Next, please. Yeah. So here we can see ice that is melting, and the sea level that is also increasing. Yeah. And the plastic waste, you can see how they are putting threats to the ocean life. And the ocean acidification of excess CO2, that is actually acidification of the seas is a concern. Next, please. Yeah. Sea temperature rising, and 0.5 temperature rise that causes the death of the coral reefs, and that change the habitat of the sea. And now coming to the tourism industry and the rising sea levels of floods, the biodiversity loss, tropical storms, and drought and other extreme weather events. And here I think this slide. Yeah. So this one we can say the world tourism. We have a different. I think we all are tourists in one or other way. And here the tourism, that is, of course, that is the fastest industry, but that is also, we can say, providing economy of many countries. And we have the seven wonders, we have the biggest religious places. They are also, we started the, we can say, tourism or pilgrimage or religious tourism. So these are the, we can say, places where the main attraction is there, but now it has many other concerns. Before this, the slide was with this arrangement. Yeah. No. Ahead. Yeah. So here we can see the tourism, and if you see the bottom slide here, in India, that is the maximum, we can say, employment providers for tourism is concerned, and of course it is contributing much to the GDP of the country. Yeah. Can you go to the previous? Yeah. Here now the giant cake. Of course it is said as a heaven on earth. But we have very important places here, and the people, this is one of the most beautiful destinations on the earth. But as the previous speaker has told, that we have a problem. So, coming to the people jal, that's the main concern here. The people jal still is a virgin area, and now the possibility of the tourism that is being explored, and the social media that has taken country. But here concern is there. You can see the people how they are exploring, especially it has taken a new shape when the COVID was there. The people, they were unable to move outside, and they try to choose a local destination, that is Ashaq Raza, and the people are 7 days up there. Next, please. Yeah. So another concern here is the weathering. I think it is a silent, we can say, damager, or we can say that is damaging the environment. And you can see there is a small mud houses there, and somebody has built this years before, but he was not knowing that these rocks will be weathered, and now this will be just under the debris after a few years. So can we as environmentalist and a tourism expert can we think that how we can reverse the process, of course natural process, but we think nothing is impossible, how would action could change that we can say the course. Now the tourism is that we can see here, the beaches are there or other we can say places where the tourism, the tourists rather we can say irresponsible tourism that is contributing to the we can say in the environment. Yeah. So sustainable tourism, many we can say definitions are there. Are tourism, ecotourism is there, environmental friendly tourism, minimum impact, soft tourism, responsible tourism. So many we can say definitions are the terms are being used. Sustainable development. The concept is as also as a civilization, but in the recent world, 1970s, it emerged. 1970 conference. Next, please. Yeah. Then the sustainable development, three things: society, environment, and economy going hand in hand. Three things. Then development that is called. And yeah, this was emerged when the Agenda 21 that was held in 1992 at the New Conference. Then afterwards, the Kofi Annan's 8 million development goal, they were translated to the 15 Mon's leadership goal, 15 that is the 17 sustainable development goals, and now we are in the next we are left with only 8 years, and still progress is not achieved as we promised or expected. Now this 5 P's, we need to expect the 5 P's because people they are partnering for the peace and prosperity on the planet. So 5 P's how we can achieve together by our own actions. Yeah, here. Of course, we have the 17 sustainable development goals from poverty, hunger, and we can say gender balance, health, and then the clean energy, clean water, then the we can say equalities, industries, responsibilities. But the 3 goals are very important. The goal number 12, goal number 13, and 14. 12 goal is very, very important. If we concentrate, if we focus on the 12 goal, means if we are consumer, we should be responsible consumer. If we are producer, we should be responsible consumer. Of course, we are producing the plastic, means we are not responsible producer, but we are using the plastic very irresponsible. So here, of course, in India, I think Sikkim was a state that abandoned or that banned the use of the single-use plastic. Goal number 13, climate change. 14 is the life on the water, and 15 that is life on the earth and biodiversity especially. Next. So here, what actions are required? Of course, these are the you can say national level data. Please, yeah. So what actions are required to reverse the climate change? Next, please. Yeah. And to make the you can say tourism really sustainable, and how together we can achieve the Agenda 2030 by our collective actions or responsible tourism. Next, please. Yeah. So these are some of the we can say remedies. What we can do, we have to reduce the 3 R's earlier that Dr. previous Dr. Ashaq has written. The 4 R. Of course, these 3 R's. The Prime Minister are reminded last we can say last we can say couple of months before. He reminded the 3 R's. So if we of course apply these 3 R's, means we have to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Naturally, we can help reduce the you can say plastic menace, the pollution. Next, please. Yeah. So plantation, every occasion. So for example, the religious we can say festivals are there, and it can be there to plant the trees on the Eid, on the Diwali, on the Christmas, or other festival. We have everything. And that will be the true contribution toward the conservation of the you can say environment and saving the future generations. Next, please. Yeah. So here, of course, tourism is concerned, and how tourism is should be resilient to the climate. And tourists, anybody, they are coming by the transport, by the planes, by the trains, or by the transport, and naturally the carbon dioxide that is being emitted into the atmosphere, and that is they are contributing toward the we can say climate change and environmental pollution. So here, the circular economy, that is the another concern, how the economy that should go in the circle. Where, for example, if we can see the boys, they are saving the bottles. On the other hand, they are collecting the water bottles. So how the economy that should be circular, and the blue economy when we are concerning about the oceans. When we are just going for of course, one plastic bottle that will ultimately travel maybe in the ocean. So that type of you can say behavior at a personal and you can say national, global level, rather you can say global level. We have to fight together the desertification. Next please. Yeah. Clean energy should be there, and we are shifting toward from the fossil fuel clean energy. That is the main concern, and of course the tourism is not possible unless the transport is there. So how we can make this, you can say transport that is clean transport where the CO2 emission could be reduced or minimized. So here, yeah. So we should not waste the food. There are people who do not have the food to eat, but there are people who are wasting the food. So we should be responsible. The dress climate, this is the concern. Our dress should be climate smart. That the dress we throw in the atmosphere, ultimately it goes to the water body, and that threatens the life of a species or organism which is living in the water. So even our dress should be climate smart, and we have to shop global, and that is of course we have to boost the economy as well as we can say conserve the environment. And of course promoting the community conservation, that is the centuries old concept, and of course the sacred groves are there, and they are contributor, and of course many tourists are visiting the sacred groves, and if we can revisit the conservation of this community tourism, that could be another we can say contribution toward the conservation of the environment. Next please. So here water bodies, they were the oldest system, but nowadays they are the forces of the methane emission, and imagine methane and other we can say gases are there. They are contributing to the climate change, they are global warming, and in fact if we revisit this centuries old we can say tradition, they will not boost the tourism potential, but they will also help to conserve the nature and our own tradition. Yeah, awareness should be there, and we have to spread the word by the conference, seminar, by all the ways, by all the means. And of course, education is very important, and so far we are passing through the beautiful document of the National Education Policy, a 65-page document, and that is taking us from the, you can say, tradition to the, we can say, high-tech era. So in this regard, how we can incorporate the concept of tourism to the national education policy so that the we can say generation could be saved. So these are some of the actions that we can adopt on the land, and they will be ultimately saving our water bodies and the oceans. Next please. Yeah. So here, this is very important here. At the source, we should be responsible. We should be, you can say, responsible consumer, and then along the way we have to stop, and then at the scene. So three actions could be, you can say, applied. Next one. Yeah. So here, on the one hand, we have seen the five big, we can say, garbage islands, but there are people who are working for the, we can say, recreation of those garbage into the greenery in the ocean itself, and many seaweeds and other life that is restoring in the sea, and nothing is impossible. So here the people, they are working for the, we can say, the cleanliness of the ocean, and of course the soil, and we are leading the nation. We have recently Sundar Gopna Chipko movement, how we help to conserve the environment. Next please. So these are some of the differences, and next, last. Yeah. So here, every one of us is a tourist, so everyone should be responsible. Unless we change ourselves, we can't expect any government, any law, any policy can change us. Thank you so much.